Hello there guys, and welcome to a CrashbashProductions video. And today we are talking about a personal topic from moi, so I should be able to recall this quite well at least. So here we go. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is how I got an injury which put me in hospital. So let's start from the beginning. So I am a guy who likes to do adventurous stuff. Haha, I'm only kidding. I just like to be silly and drive fast things, which meant a quad bike off-road. So if you don't know what a quad bike is, it's like a motocross bike but with 2 extra wheels. So yeah, that's a quad bike, hence quad, meaning for, in case you didn't know, so the more you know. So yeah, I ride quad bikes, and one day I was up in a friend's field, and on the first drive off, I started driving off to start the first lap of practice, and went around the first corner, and there's this small jump which lets you get a lot of distance but not a lot of air. So of course I took it at pretty much as quick as I could go. Problem was, at that current day, the jump wasn't right for me, and it kicked me well off. The back rid right up in the air, it flipped the bike, and I got flipped with it, and I was rolling with a quad bike which weighs quite a bit and getting smashed about. And the end result of that was me on the ground with a dislocated hip, and also fractured it in the process of dislocating it, which was lovely and painful and right in the butt. It hurts so much. So yeah, don't do that. And so what happened during that incident was, while I was rolling around, the bike came around and the rear tyre smacked me right around the head, which was lucky that I had a helmet on, because it snapped in most of my helmet. And that really freaking hurt. I was bleeding from the head a little bit, but had a bit of concussion as well, obviously, after getting smacked around the head. So that's how I got the injury, which was a horrible experience. Don't do it, kids. Don't fall off a quad bike being an idiot. It's horrible. It hurts so much. So yeah, that's how I got it. So then I was rushed off to hospital in a ambulance. And I was rushed off and put straight into like A&E, I think, where they diagnosed that I had a dislocated hip, as my mum already diagnosed because she was a first aider, thingy majiggy wahiggy mahiggy, unimportant, which means I had to have it relocated back into the right slot. So I was knocked out for that, and they popped it back in, and the way they described putting it back in was the guy actually had to get on the table and ram my leg back into place. So that's lovely. Just imagine that, a guy just ramming your leg back into place. Oh, that's lovely, isn't it? But that's not the best part. Once they put it back in, they realised it also had a fracture. So, guess what? I got sent off to another hospital, where I then got put back under, and was under for about 4 hours, where they operated on my hip and screwed in the piece that was floating about in my body. And then once I woke up, I was like, holy shit, that was a great sleep. And ow, I really fucking hurt. Which was the first initial thing. And so I was left in hospital for about a week, or I was in hospital for about a week, sorry, before I got discharged, and that was only because I was on crutches quite early, like really quite early, and I was actually discharged a week earlier than what normally you are discharged at. So yeah, that was exciting. And by exciting, I mean absolutely painful, and I never want to do it again. However, I do want to get back out. That's a different story to tell though. So, I could not walk, and I could not sleep on my side for a good few months. I had to have a pillow between my legs to make sure that my hip wasn't too stiff, because otherwise it would give me absolute terrible pain. And so I couldn't sleep on my side, which is how I usually sleep for you perverts and pedos and Steve. And so yeah, that sucked. And I couldn't walk for a good 6 months. That was before I got rid of the crutches properly. Then I couldn't do anything more for another year and a half. And it was only in this June or July that, I think it was June, that I actually properly was relieved of not being able to do everything and anything. So yeah, interesting story for you guys. And I've got a good 7-inch scar to flash about with the ladies, if you know what I mean. I mean, they love those battle wall scars, don't they? They love them. And by love them, they absolutely hate them. Don't you dare show them off, because they're like, oh, cool. So yeah. Interesting. And and I got another one for you. Before I do though, it was actually extremely serious from my dislocation, because I could have lost my leg, which I didn't actually realise for quite a while. I was like, it's fine. And they were like, no, it's a serious injury. And I was like, alright. And it kind of dawned on me later on that I could have lost my leg because of circulation or infection or whatever, and I would have lost my leg. So I was quite lucky to not lose my leg, or otherwise it would be a completely different situation right now, and it would be really fucked up. I really wouldn't want to lose my leg. I feel so sorry for the people that can't use their legs or arms or anything. It's really horrible. But I'm getting sidetracked. Another injury that I have, because, you know, why not give you a load of injury info, was when I was quite a lot younger than I am now, and I could barely ride a bike, to be honest. I wasn't ridiculously young, but I wasn't ridiculously old either. Which meant that I was ridiculously stupid and cocky and shit. Because, you know, you always are when you're young. Because you're a twat when you're young. Although, I was. But that's a different thing altogether again. So, I was on the push bike, riding along, and my stepdad did a skid, and I was like, oh, I will do that. Pedal up really quick, and go to slide it around, and hit the wrong brake, hit the front brake, and high-sided right into a load of flint, which cut my arm quite nicely, quite deeply, and they had to scrape that out, which was painful at the time. Probably nowhere near as painful as what I experienced later on with my hip, but that's uncomparable. Apart from unless you lost it. I'd just be, don't want to think about it. But in my pain ratio, that was pretty high. So there we go. The more you know about me. So thank you for watching, guys. I'm sorry it's been fairly long, fairly rambly, but at least it was on topic, and at least it was something interesting for once, instead of me just doing update videos and shit. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!